Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens. I'm a teacher and author, and this is English Nerd. Today I'm talking about William Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream. It is a beloved comedy for like the first time. I pretty much have been only talking about the tragedies. And so today I wanted to take a look at the final soliloquy of the play, which is given by Puck directly to the audience. So here are my thoughts on the final lines of A Midsummer Night's Dream. So here's the final soliloquy in A Midsummer Night's Dream by Puck, who has been causing a lot of this chaos throughout the entire play. I'm not going to go into a lot of the background, but I will touch on some of the themes that we see wrapped up here. I'll focus mostly on this soliloquy just as it is by itself. So this does count as a soliloquy, even though Puck is directly speaking to the audience. Everybody on stage has left except for Puck, and so it still counts as a soliloquy rather than a general monologue. And it goes like this. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here while all these visions did appear. So right away it should stand out that there is a very strong rhyme. We have couplets going on, offended, mended, here, appear. And this is not typical of Shakespeare. A lot of people describe Shakespeare as poetic, and it definitely is, but much more often Shakespeare will use blank verse, which is 10 syllables that have iambic pentameter, da-da-da-da-da-da, but without rhyming at the end. Here we have a very strong rhyme. It has almost a fairy tale-like quality or a nursery rhyme-like quality to it, and I think that matches what the rest of the play is about and kind of the whole sense of this final speech. So if we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here while these visions did appear. It's an apology here at the beginning if we've offended you, but it's this very soft apology. It's one of those that you don't necessarily want from somebody who's actually wronged you. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended. So sorry if we offended you, but also not sorry. Just imagine that this was all a dream. So what we have here is shadows, slumbering, visions. All of these ideas come up quite a bit in the play. Slumbering, not knowing what's real and what isn't, reality versus what's being perceived. And so that is a very strong idea right out of the gate in this final, this final speech. And this weak and idle theme, no more yielding but a dream. And this weak and idle theme, what he's talking about there is up for debate. It could be a literary theme of love, or it could be just the plot itself. Is it, a weak and idle plot? Interestingly, Midsummer Night's Dream was one of the only plays that Shakespeare entirely invented. He did not take any of the ideas from source material or history books or anything like that. This was all Shakespeare. So it's kind of interesting that he's being self-deprecating here by giving the final speech these self-deprecating ideas to it. Gentle, so that's gentlemen, gentle women. Do not reprehend, don't scold us. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest Puck, which is interesting because throughout the play there's a very trickster element with him. If we have unearned luck, now to escape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long. So a few things here. He repeats again, I'm going to mend everything that is broken by having this absolutely ridiculous play put in front of you. And it's interesting to me on a couple of levels because Puck has been messing things up throughout the entire story, but he's also been kind of putting things back together. And now that the characters are all taken care of, he turns to the audience. And this is something that I think Shakespeare does really well with characters like Iago. I talked about that speech a few months ago, where Iago, the villain of Othello, speaks directly to the audience and begins trying to manipulate them. Here we have Puck having speaking to the audience kind of like he was interacting with the characters within the play. So it brings you as an audience member into the story to a certain extent, which is a pretty cool meta way of going about things. So once again, he says, if you pardon, we will mend. This half-hearted apology, like, well, I'm sorry you have your feelings, but, you know, it's fine. I'll make everything better. Now, so he wants to escape this serpent's tongue. What he's talking about there is the audience hissing and booing. He wants to escape that. Once again, kind of falsely self-effacing here. If we have unearned luck, then maybe we can escape the boos and hisses of the audience, and we'll be able to make amends ere long. Else, the Puck a liar call. He said he was honest before, but he says, okay, you can call me a liar if we don't make those amends. So, good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends. So this has a couple different meanings. Give me your hands. But there's also the sense of clapping, once again, because it's an audience. So give me your hands if we be friends, if we're all good, if everything's mended, and you think I'm telling you the truth, and Robin shall restore amends. So that is the end. It ends on a nursery rhyme, fairy tale, almost dream-like poem spoken by the perfect character to give a speech like that. So you're almost being lulled into sleep or into submission by Puck repeating some of these words and having such a strong rhyme scheme here. So yeah, it's a lovely ending to a lovely play. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. If you're writing a paper or something about this speech, make sure to do your own digging as well. Obviously, you don't want to steal other people's ideas and take them as your own, but I do hope that you were able to look at the speech from a slightly different point of view and that you learned something. So yeah, that is it for today. Like this video if you like it. Be sure to subscribe for more English nerdy goodness. It comes to you every week on Monday, and I'll see you next week. Bye.